Hello everyone. So today we will be understanding or going exploring a bit more on um, like a, particular segment of the LLM industry that is not being focused a lot. What we will be going through is ironically the front end of LLM. So आप लोगों को अगर पता होगा एलएलएम एलएलएम की दुनिया में मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा ही स्पीड फास्ट पेस्ड एप्लीकेशंस बन रहे हैं एंड द ओपन एआई इज रिलीजिंग मॉडल्स वेरी फास्ट द क्लाउड इज रिलीजिंग मॉडल्स वेरी फास्ट एंड new features are like every time you blink an eye you get a new feature in the market, right? So how to cope up front end in that case? So how the conventional front end was that you used to create some templates, you used to create some components, and then based on some logical conditions, you used to render it either through a very efficient data management, state management, and um, can keeping a UI layer completely rigid on top of that, and deciding the dynamism based on the data. That is what the conventional front end architecture was going on. There was no decision making authority. There was no consciousness or something. Not exactly consciousness. That would be the wrong word. Rather, a dynamism based on whatever that data that is provided or whatever outcome that is provided. So in the data side, that flexibility comes up as we integrate multiple LLMs in our system, but in the UI there is no system as such. So that problem still remains as one of the architectural problems. So today we will go deep into that and we'll understand what things are going on, and which there is a company I found out named Thesis, that already 400 plus companies are using that. So we will understand what they are actually solving and what how they are solving that. So let me introduce. This is my first video actually. Let me introduce myself. I'm Ashish. I'm a front-end developer. I work for a AI-based company in San Francisco. We are still not public yet, and um, we are yet to launch our product in the market. Um, Later things later. Let's start with this particular problem statement that we will be dealing with. Here's a perspective of a front end engineer. Like he mentions that JavaScript is still in 2016 space, and the velocity is the issue. Let's consider we have a workflow and we have nodes. We are representing that in the front end, and whenever a new node or a new kind of action is coming, that kind of takes a lot of time while implementing in the front end side. So he mentions that, and uh, so we will go through this company. This is Thesis. So what they're doing is they're basically doing they have created a library, and that library is responsible for generating UI, generative UI. I'll go deep into that. What is that basically? So when you write code and that code runs and creates a UI, that is basically like that is also misunderstood as generative UI. That is generative code basically, uh, which can be rendered as a UI. But generative UI over here basically means that there are small chunks of multiple reusable UIs or atoms that are basically logically binded by the LLM, or decided by the LLM. Like he has the idea, he has the context of the front end, and based on that it decides what components to render and how to render, and based on that it is rendered. So if you see the site initial loading page, you can see how we get a basic markdown or a basic text kind of structure in a normal chat interface built on top of AI. and how thesis library is actually managing to show that very efficiently and very nicely. So that is what I meant when we meant dynamic UI, and this is just the beginning, and the architecture will completely change, and there will be a complete new segment of thing coming up in the front end side in the coming years. See how beautifully the tables are generated. How so we'll go deep into that. Before that, we'll just go through the blog what they had published, the limitations of the template based conversation design and the modern LLM oriented design. Um, so there is no 100% coverage in case of template oriented designs. There would be always a fixed set of rules that you would define, and based on those fixed set of rules, the UI will function. Um, there won't be any context. Uh, there won't be behavioral change in the UI side, until and unless you define it particularly. But in case of LLM, you cannot decide what extremities can come up, right? So that is the thing. Um, when you come with AI native conversational applications, so you need to have that dynamism in the UI as well. So this guy solved it very nicely. We'll just see what all changes they are bringing. So yeah, of course, it is slow to update. It is naturally input friendly, hyper personalized, rigid UI in the template based. Yes, smart interfaces, fails often, robust understanding. So these are the few things that they're definitely tackling, and it is pretty good actually, because already 400 plus companies are using Thesis, and probably I'd be also using this in our own product. Um, Recently, I came up with this problem myself, and I tried to solve that using one of my own logical binding. We'll just have a demo on how this is actually functioning, so that you guys will have more understanding on this. And might be possible we can, in the coming sessions, we can implement this is in some of the prototypes or something like that, and see how this is basically functioning in the LLMs. So let's see some workflow um, automation status. So that is pretty much a thing that needs to cover the whole workflow node, and say see the status that is currently running. We can have a fixed UI for that case. It can be anything. It can be a stalled status. It can be any status. So let's see. Yeah. So that's something. So it rendered statistics. It rendered few of the images. That image is not that great, I can say. But yeah, workflows. This particular table is rendered so smoothly. Metrics definitely, and on top of that, the most important thing is these buttons are basically functionable. So we can we select those buttons, and those have a specific actions for that. So when I just click new, create new workflow, it is creating a form which I need to work on. So we don't need to say create a separate JSON to form uh, template, or we need to create a data to chat template. That is completely being handled by the thesis library. This is great, man. This is great. So I haven't implemented this completely, but I'm pretty sure this would definitely start the new architectural behaviors in the front end side. Obviously not on the very surface level, at whether we are choosing the SSR, ISR, or SSG, anything like that. but rather in the specific side where the UI is being decided by the LLM to be generated. That's the only case where this whole thing would be creating a huge difference. And yeah, that would result in the coming time new UX and UI as well. Fine. So this is a great form actually. So we will go through this kind of things in the coming time. This is my first video in YouTube, and I'm not really sure how. I don't have any video editing stuffs. I just landed a video in Loom, and I just created some content. I hope you guys don't criticize much on that, but yeah, open to discuss many things with you guys, and definitely have a great architectural outcome in the coming times, and we'll probably all will explore together. Thank you guys. Thank you.